So I was blending it in my dorm room. I was blending ingredients, slapping labels on. There's pictures of me. I'd throw parties and stuff and just pass the juice out. And actually a fraternity brother of mine, TJ, hit me and was like, hey dude, I'll buy this. Like, stop giving it out for free. Like, you gotta start charging us. People actually like this. And it kind of spiraled from me doing stuff in my dorm room to now.
Luis Manta is the founder of Soul Juice. As a former college athlete, Luis had an allergic reaction to Gatorade. So while still in college and in his dorm room, he created and formulated his own juice. And what started off as a way of avoiding an allergic reaction has now turned into a thriving business and juice brand in Los Angeles, California.
Whatever you want to do, go chase after whatever you want to do. People are going to give you a billion reasons why it's not going to work, why it's not the right idea, that kind of thing, and you just have to go with it and go with your gut and try something.
Today, let's sit down with Luis and hear his story about how he started and has grown Soul Juice to what it is now. Let's dive right into American Game Changers. Well, Luis Manta, welcome to the show, American Game Changers in the Epoch Times.
Great to be here, man.
Awesome. When did you graduate? What year was that?
17. So I grew up in Chandler, went to Hamilton. I was a soccer player that made it out, got a scholarship to St. Louis University where I played, and that's where I came up with Soul Juice. So had an allergic reaction to Gatorade, red dye number 40, and I hated coconut water, and I was still playing at a high level, so it was like I need to consume something that's good for me, but couldn't drink Gatorade. So the coaches had me drinking coconut water. I'd plug my nose and chug it. And that's when I came across the
Was it coconut water, you just didn't like the taste of it? Or like it was not good for you, like you had allergic reaction to it?
I just don't like the taste of coconut water. So Gatorade I couldn't drink. Gatorade, Powerade were off the table, was allergic. Coconut water I just didn't like. So there wasn't a lot of options out there for me. And that's when I came across the Korean pear, and this tastes like apple juice. And I was like, this is easy for me to drink. I like how it tastes. Let me start selling this.
Wait, a Korean pear?
Korean pear.
You squeezed it into?
So I was blending it in my dorm room. I was blending ingredients, slapping labels on. There's pictures of me. I'd throw parties and stuff and just pass the juice out. And actually a fraternity brother of mine, TJ, hit me and was like, hey dude, I'll buy this. Like, stop giving it out for free. Like, you gotta start charging us. People actually like this. And it kind of spiraled from me doing stuff in my dorm room to now a business that's on
Did you know
shelves.
at the time that this was like healthy?
Yeah, so I knew it was healthy and I knew it was like a superfruit hydrator. So the two main things are it's packed with electrolytes, so it helps you recover, and it helps with detox in your liver. So it helps speed up enzyme production in your liver that breaks down toxins. So the two things it's great for are athletes and then people that like to party. So on college campus it was doing really, really well, giving it to people who didn't want to have a hangover and then giving it to the people that wanted to work out.
How long have you been working on this?
So I had the original idea was in 2016, and then graduated in 2017. I realized that starting a company costs a ton of money. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. And I was a college kid. I was still a soccer player at the time and didn't view myself as a business person. So I was like, I need to figure out how to do this. People want it. So I got a job at an incubator actually. And for 3 years in Scottsdale, I launched Eva Longoria's food brand, Tasty BuzzFeed's entire food line. Chef John Howie, who's up in Seattle, he does a lot of Costco stuff. So I launched all their food programs for them, was like an outside consultant. And around that 3-year mark, December of 2019, I was like, all right, I'm ready. I can launch a brand all by myself. Let's go after this.
So that is curious to me, launching different people's food brands. It's like, that's like a whole new, like, I don't think you ever heard like maybe like 20, 30 years ago, somebody said I'm launching, or in a way that I guess it is today. And I mean, a lot of it's social media and really creating that whole brand. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, well, people are just passionate about food, right? Everyone you meet has like some grandma's recipe or something passed down. So a lot of people are passionate about food, which makes food an easy industry to work in. Because as long as people are passionate about something, it's easy to get a spark, you know, and tell that story. I think I'll give him credit, 50 Cent with vitamin water, which everyone remembers like that commercial. That was like I call that the tipping point of when people realize that the food industry, there's a lot of money to be made in it. it, and influencers can have a massive impact. So I don't know how much he made, but I know 50 Cent made over $100 million on that vitamin water deal, and since then you've seen a lot of celebrities sprout in and be a part of it. What I tell people is you see two types of food programs. There's ones that are just a label slap, where a celeb just goes, hey, I want to make cash on this, they slap their name on it and you see it happen, or the ones that are really bought in, that formulated it, it's their actual family recipe, they are an influencer, but this is something they're passionate about and want to help grow. So I tried to focus on growing brands that had legs like that, so I could see, so I could learn. What I tell anyone that wants to start a business is you're not going to wake up and know how to do it. You need to go learn. So go work for someone or do something where you can learn all the skills, and then once you're a master at it, you can go do it for yourself. So Eva Longoria was a perfect person to work with. Huge food background, loves cooking. We launched a tres leches cake in
Heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, and a salsa actually in H-E-B. So a great grocery store down there. So we did H-E-B, then we expanded to Kroger, did a little bit with Walmart. So it was really cool to take something that was a passion of hers, launch it in her hometown market in Texas.
It's Texas, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm trying to think. I think she's from outside of San Antonio. I can't think of the exact town though. But yeah, from Texas, cool. Take this Texas item and grow it out. Same thing with Tasty BuzzFeed. Tasty decided to do cookware items at Walmart. I saw that they did that. I just wrote them a note, blank LinkedIn email, was like, hey, saw you did cookware. Think it would be great if you did food, honestly. Like, I think people would try it. That started a business. We launched at Sam's Club in all locations in 2019, so with a breakfast meatball. So it's just kind of cool to work with these big companies and create something from scratch.
Getting into Soul Juice and kind of putting consulting a little bit, what was the biggest thing that you feared? What was the biggest fear that came your way?
I think just slapping your name on anything, there's responsibility with that. So I think that's something that people don't realize, is that anything I put my name on, I want to be a great product, you know, and I want, when people go, hey, this is Luis's product, or Luis was involved in this, I want them to get a good feeling about trying it, you know. So I think just taking all my expertise and putting that responsibility on a product, you know, and saying, hey, I back this, this is what I think you should be drinking, that's probably the hardest thing, because you just don't want to let anyone down, you know, because you got a bunch of good customers who love your product that want to see your brand doing a certain thing. So I think just owning that and waking up every day, taking that responsibility seriously is probably the toughest thing.
So how have your fears changed now? Now that you have your beginning fears taken online, what do you fear now moving to the future?
We've taken a lot of punches at Soul Juice. So, I mean,
you were telling me a little bit, about some of them earlier, because I wanted to have you on here a few months ago.
A couple months ago, and supply chain stuff, but we made it happen, so that was awesome. But so I haven't had the idea 6 years ago. 2019, at the end of 2019, I quit my job. That was the aha moment. I was going to go do it. And of course, like everyone knows, we shut down, especially in LA, for a long, long time. So that made manufacturing, that made getting new distribution, that made everything difficult. So I actually, I took a break, started consulting 100% of the time. I even stocked grocery stores at Walmart for a little bit, worked as a shelf boy, stocking stuff. I did everything. And then September of 2021, I found farming partners in the U.S., found manufacturing partners here, moved the whole business here, launched in Bristol Farms, had great success. January of 2022, lost our manufacturing facility. They had some issues with, there was the Delta spike, the Omicron spike. They got behind on manufacturing delays. A lot of people don't see this, but like when you cancel flights at the airport, everyone just goes home, right? And that it's over. Well, in manufacturing, when you cancel something, you have to remake it up. So there ends up being this huge bottleneck that just threw everything off. And that's why you see these rising prices, is that we weren't able to produce for a long period of time. And that's why you have to raise the cost, because the material's just not there anymore. So that made it very difficult. And so we got a new manufacturing facility now, knock on wood. We can do millions of bottles a year. We're in our big facility. We're taking money on now. We're hiring people. So there's been a lot of ups and downs with dealing with the pandemic and the situation it put businesses in. But I mean, we were able to thrive, and it's just putting your head down and doing the right thing,
Right.
you know.
Tell me about your allergic reaction. Was it Gatorade that gives you allergic reaction?
Yeah, I actually have a picture, it's on our website, of me having the allergic reaction. My face broke out in hives. I thought I was having some kind of skin condition. So that was the first like thought, was like, why am I getting bad acne? Like, what's going on? Like, it was all of a sudden too. I just drank the Gatorade. I was confused. Like, why am I breaking out? Is it like my sweat? What's going on? And yeah, I had to go to the allergist, get poked a bunch of times. I realized it was red dye number 40.
So it's the red dye.
Yeah, it was the red dye. The athletic trainers they stopped giving us red and purple Gatorade because that had the red dye in it, because they were just worried about me accidentally drinking it, so no one could have that product. It caused a lot of issues, and that's when it clicked, and I was like, there has to be another alternative.
Very interesting. What advice would you give someone graduating college that kind of wants to follow in your footsteps, someone that wants to start their own brand, their own business? What would you advise them and tell them?
The first thing I would say is just start. Whatever you want to do, go chase after whatever you want to do. People are going to give you a billion reasons why it's not going to work, why it's not the right idea, that kind of thing, and you just have to go with it and go with your gut and try something. The second thing I would say is try and learn as fast as possible. Find someone that's done it before, find a company that's doing what you're wanting to do, you know, go engulf yourself in the industry, because if you're not an expert, you're probably going to fail, or you're going to have a lot of mistakes for not being an expert. So the two things are start and then try and learn from everyone as possible. Ask questions, DM. You never know what opportunities are going to come from
You
it.
DM a lot of people?
Oh, I DM tons of people. I'm sure you guys do too.
No.
You know, when you're starting out, that's what you have to do. You have to get your name out there. You have to talk to people. You have to network and just be a good human, you know, so that people want to interact with you as well.
The power of the DM.
And that's something that can be hard, you know. You send you're nervous about sending DMs. You say, I don't know how many you've sent. I've sent a bunch. I'm sure you've sent like thousands. You get to a point where you're like, I'm so tired. Why am I DMing this person? And you never know. You know, all of a sudden that 500 DM is the one that puts you on the map. You just got to keep going after.
I always like to end my show, and anytime I always like to give just a message of hope. If you have like one message that you like to give that's hopeful to the next generation of anyone that wants to do something, what would that be?
I love that. I love how positive your show is too. After watching quite a few episodes, it's so cool to see all the different people that come on here and what cool things they're doing in positive aspects. But I think just chase your dream. You know, I'm son of an immigrant, starting a Korean brand in the U.S., Hispanic. You know, you can do anything in this country if you put your mind to it. There's the right people here, and you have the freedom to go do it. So chase your dream here and get after it. I mean, that's what I can tell people.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much.